Hi, my name is Nick, and today I'm going to show you what a Mogrt is. The first thing you need to know about a Mogrt is that it's a template you can use inside of Adobe Premiere. In fact, Mogrt is actually short for Motion Graphic Template. To go a bit more in depth, a Mogrt is a project encapsulated into just one file. Let's jump right in and take a look at what makes Mogrts special. I've set up 4 Mogrts here, which were made inside of After Effects. The first one is Expanding Ripple Box. Let's go ahead and watch it. It's got a nice clean look, and all I had to do was drag it into my timeline, and now I have a nice clean modern title. If we wanted to change the text, all we have to do is click on it and change the text. Now let's go ahead and watch this. That's it. It still looks great, it's still got the same animation, and retains the same level of polish that only an After Effects project could deliver. Now let's take a look at the next one. This one's called The Smoothest. Let's watch it right now. This one's got a nice clean look as well, and we can go ahead and click on it and change the text all the same. I could say Nicholas and mess around with the text size a little bit. It animates perfectly. Nothing broke. Everything's automatic. And you'll also notice, if we slow this down, that all the masking is managed for us automatically. We don't have to worry about that. It does it by itself. And it's not just for the text popping down, but also for the lines. If we mess with the line gap, that masking is also managed for us. But Mogrts don't have to be complex to be useful. What if we just wanted a nice, simple way to wipe on text that looked good? Well, what about a Mogrt like this? It's simple and it brings text onto the screen. And all we have to do is mess with our text and change it to whatever we need it to be, and it will wipe on just the same. In fact, let's look at it while it's wiping on. As we change our text, you can see the entire animation reanimates itself and won't break. It works just fine no matter what you do to it. We could also mess around with text size, mess around with the bar width, make it thinner, thicker, taller, shorter. We could even change the bar color if we'd like. For the last example, here's a Mogrt made to quickly create burned-in captions which could be used as a subtitle or a social media highlight. Looks really good, looks really clean. Now, we can go ahead and change the text however we like. We can even mess around with what words are highlighted by dragging around these sliders. If I wanted the whole top line to be highlighted, and I wanted the second line, just pancakes, to be highlighted, I can do all that and control it exactly. You'll see that it plays just fine. Now we can even mess around with the intro and outro duration. If we turn this thing on, up here, timing guide preview, we can see where our intro, our hold duration, and our outro duration is. So we can go ahead and set the outro to be closer to our intro, and now let's watch it. Looks good to me. And we can also change the highlight color if we'd like to. Maybe we just don't like the color yellow, we could put in some red. Really, the point I'm trying to make here is you can change and customize these however you like, and it will not break. Not only will it not break, but it will also look beautiful. It's functional and good looking. This is what makes Mogrts powerful. As we can see, what Mogrts do is they give Premiere users the ability to leverage all the power of an After Effects professional inside of Premiere by just dragging a few sliders around and changing some text. Mogrts will save you time and can also give your projects the polish they deserve. So far we've talked about Mogrts made in After Effects, but you may have heard that Mogrts can also be created inside of Premiere Pro. Now while they share the same name, they are very, very different. This can be a bit confusing, so let's dive in and take a look at some of the differences. Premiere Mogrts will feel more natural to an experienced Premiere user, but you may find yourself feeling as if you're limited in terms of what you can make. After Effects Mogrts give you access to all the advanced motion graphic capabilities of After Effects. They can be smarter, more adaptable, they can also offer more customization, and they can be wired up to simple and easy to use controls. Let's hop into Premiere and see how these different Mogrts work. You can easily begin making a simple title by just clicking on the screen with the text tool. As you can see, when I typed in my text, the object appeared in the timeline. The clip we just made isn't actually a Mogrt quite yet, but it is a Premiere Mogrt in the making. After we finish designing and animating this clip, we can export it as a finished product in the form of a Mogrt. We can do more than just add text in Premiere Mogrts. For example, we could throw in boxes or circles. Let's throw in a rectangle right now. When you're working with Premiere Mogrts, everything revolves around layers and their order. You'll notice that the moment I select my text layer, a bunch of really useful controls pop up oriented towards working with type, and that when I select my shape layer, a different bunch of useful controls appear specific to shape layers. We can drag and drop our layers around the program monitor however we like in a really intuitive fashion. This may seem like a given, but this really basic function isn't available in After Effects Mogrts. You'll also notice there are alignment options in the Essential Graphics panel. These are really useful shortcuts to position your layer however you like. You may have noticed this sticky note looking button over here. If you click it, you can add a new text, shape, or file layer to your Mogrt. A file layer can be any image or video file of your choice. Now, if I were to export this as a template, all the images, video, and other layers would be encapsulated into just one file that could be distributed to anybody. Now, what I'm going to do is drag in an After Effects Mogrt that I've created called Autoscale 1 to 3 line. We drag in After Effects Mogrts into the timeline the same way that we do Premiere Mogrts, but the second you click on the After Effects Mogrt, you'll notice some stark differences. The Edit tab of the Essential Graphics panel no longer shows our layers, and the controls are no longer based around layers. These controls are completely different. Now, the reason for this is that when you create a Mogrt in After Effects, you get to set up the controls yourself. You can choose exactly what you want someone in Premiere to be able to modify in your template, and can move the controls around to be exactly where you want them to be. Now, you'll also notice you can no longer click on the screen to edit the text, and you can't create keyframes for elements inside of the Mogrt. In fact, the only way you're going to be able to change anything inside of this Mogrt is by using the controls that the author gave you. This means to change the text, you'll need to find the text control inside of the edit panel, and to change the duration or look of the animation, you'll need to find the intro or appearance controls in the edit panel as well. As you can see, there are more controls and more things to customize inside of this particular template, but what if the author didn't know how to make an intro duration slider, or they didn't add color controls? You'd be stuck with the default timing and default colors that were set in After Effects when the Mogrt was made. This is why I believe that After Effects Mogrts have the most potential. Skilled authors can create some amazing stuff. Some of the ideas I came up with for controls in my After Effects Mogrts were to add intro or outro duration controls, text alignment controls, and controls to reverse or alter the animation. As I began creating more and more Mogrts, I realized that the less controls you have, the better. This led me to automate as many properties as I could instead of forcing the users to set them manually. I was able to do this using expressions. Expressions are snippets of code you can place inside of layer properties inside of After Effects. I was able to use expressions to scale text to fit inside of specific areas, automatically resize boxes around text, give Premiere users access to text alignment controls, and many other cool things. Ultimately, I found that the more I learned about expressions, the cooler I could make my templates. I've gone ahead and shared some of my expression secrets on my YouTube channel, so if you'd like to learn more about expressions and how to take your Mogrts to the next level, I've got just the thing for you. You can go ahead and get started watching my expressions tutorials by clicking this link here or finding the link in the description below. If you aren't so interested in expressions but still like learning about Mogrts in general, check out the rest of my channel. I'd recommend starting with this video here about how to make your first After Effects Mogrt. I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, you'd make my day by subscribing or liking the channel. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.